Let me talk to you about the different types of businesses for 2 seconds. There's sole proprietorship. That's where one guy sets up shop, and then he goes along fat, dumb, and happy, and he's in business. A general partnership is where 2 or more individuals set up shop. The problem with that is you don't even need an agreement in order to do that. All you need is 2 or more individuals engaged in the activity. So 60% of you are in a general partnership. In fact, no lawyer's ever brought you in, set you down across the desk, and said, okay, let me give you the definition for a general partnership. Let's see if you're in one. And, let me give it to you right now. Here's the definition you think am I in a partnership. I said 60% of you were in one. 2 or more individuals engaged in a common activity. What did I just describe? Everybody comes back with marriage. No, it's not marriage, because there's a third part. 2 or more individuals engage in common activity with the intent to make money. And I won't ask if you got married to make money, okay, Todd? That's not a good one there.
Good point.
So then you've got the limited partnership, different than a general partnership, because the limited partners are only liable to lose up to the amount that they invest in the deal. And you do have a general partner, though, and the general partner is liable there. Then we've got the corporations, the S Corp and the C Corp. And by the way, I don't care if you have an S Corp or C Corp. Doesn't matter to me. A corporation is a corporation is a corporation. The asset protection is the same in each one of these. And a lot of people think, oh, I get better asset protection out of the C Corp. No, they're the exact same. The only difference is one is taxed under subchapter S of the IRS code, and one is taxed under subchapter or chapter C of the IRS code. So, asset protection-wise, we're just fine there. The limited liability company, like I said, that's where we're going to concentrate on, and it's different than a corporation. Has the same corporate shield, but it's different than the corporation because it has an asset protection facet that you don't get in the corporations. And the problem, well, let me introduce the LLC to you for 2 seconds. The corporations, and when the lawyers created the LLCs, they made different language for them to keep them separate from the corporation. So you got the corporation, you got the limited liability company. You've got the shareholder. We don't call them shareholders. We call them members in an LLC. We've got the officer. It's not an officer in an LLC. It's a manager. We've got stock. We don't have stock in the LLCs. We've got membership interests. The terminology is different, but it's basically the same concept. You don't pay a dividend in a corporation. You pay a distribution. Or you pay a dividend in a corporation, rather. You pay a distribution out of an LLC. The articles of incorporation are the same as the articles of organization. And then we've got the bylaws. The bylaws and the operating agreement, they're basically equivalent. They're the thing that you get to write so that you can control what happens in your company and how people have to deal with your company. Maybe a touch of history here. Limited liability companies, they're actually old European companies, old European entities. You remember the LTD and the GmbHs, the Gesellschaft mit Beschränkter Haftung, if you're a German. It means company with limited liability. 1977, limited liability companies were introduced into Wyoming. Wyoming passed a couple of laws and said, okay, we're going to create this animal that looks like these old European companies. And they did that. They defined the asset protection. The only thing they didn't know was the tax aspect of IRS and they ask, do you want this to be a pass-through entity where the tax is passed through like a partnership or an S corporation, or do you want it to be its own taxing structure like a C corporation? And they did that in 1977, and do you know how long it took the IRS to come back and say something? 1996. IRS always acts with lightning speed. They came back and said, no, just check a box. We don't care how you want it to be taxed. If you want it to be taxed as a partnership, fine, tell us. If you want it to be taxed as a C corporation, fine, tell us. If you want it to be taxed as an S corporation, fine, tell us. What people don't understand is the LLC is the LLC is the LLC. It doesn't matter how it's taxed. The legal structure is the same. We're just applying tax rules differently to the same animal. So it can be taxed any way you choose to have it taxed. Now, the LLC started out pretty different in the different states, but we've actually had 2 rounds. The last round of Uniform Liability Company, Uniform LLC Acts, was in 2006. The lawyers, they all get together and they write these uniform acts, and then the states adopt the act in order to control how the state handles this entity, this animal called the LLC or the corporation or the trust or whatever it is. We have uniform acts for everything. So the states are really pretty consistent on the LLC. Now, I'm going to give it to you. There are differences, and in the LLC Wizard, I've got to go through those differences for you and teach you about the different states. But the question now is what business do you want? Do you want an LLC? You may not want an LLC. The problem is you walk in off the street and say, hi, here I am, Mr. Lawyer. I need an LLC. Set me up. Well, you just asked him to set you up, didn't you? The bottom line is he's going to give you whatever he's got on his word processor that day. And you might not want an LLC. You may want an actual corporation. For example, do you trust your business partners? If you trust your business partners, fine, do an LLC. If you don't really trust your business partners, then we'd better do a corporation. So I go through a business matrix here for you. We go through the sole proprietorships and the corporations and the LLCs and the different things, and we talk about the liability protection and how easy it is to run and what the tax benefits are on it, all of these things, and then you can make your decision as to what you want. I've actually got in the LLC Wizard a legal structure questionnaire. You're going to fill that out, and then that's going to walk you through the business matrix so you can figure out exactly what you want. In course 2, we're going to ensure that you meet the legal requirements. You're getting bombarded every 15 minutes from Wyoming or Delaware or Nevada. Everybody, you got to incorporate Nevada. You got to do your LLC in Nevada. We have all of these neat laws. Well, in reality, Nevada doesn't have any neater laws than anybody else. I'm going to give it to you. 30 years ago they did. But today, they're about the same. Oh, there's no corporate tax in Nevada. Well, yeah, actually that's not true. But there's no corporate tax in Nevada. Well, I don't really care. The state that you're making your money in, the state that your property is located in, is where you're going to pay taxes. If you make money in Indiana, you're going to be paying tax on that money in Indiana. I don't care if it's a Nevada corporation or a Nevada LLC. You're going to get there. So we're going to decide which state you're going to be in. You need to get the unique forms for that state. Every state has its own forms that you have to fill out for the articles of organization. You're going to organize this thing in that state, so you have to use their forms. This isn't rocket science, guys. I mean, you go to the Legal Doom sites, you go to the lawyer, guess what? He's using the forms that the state gave him. If he's using some fancy forms, you don't want this guy, because the forms that you file in the state are public knowledge. You give the state the minimum amount that they require. And you do it online. And it's a piece of cake. I'll walk you through it. Actually, I teach you how to fill in each one of the blanks. So we're going to choose the name of your company and the state the LLC is going to be in. We're going to see if the name's available. We're going to teach you how to evaluate the name, see if it's any good. And we're going to fill out the articles of organization. That's in course 2. So where do I file? Well, like I said, you're getting sold every 15 minutes on one of these states. You're paying too much, guys. Do it in the state where you have property or where you are doing your business or where you live. If I go to Nevada, I've got to have a corporate agent, registered agent, all of those guys. You're paying them $500 to sit on their butt. Well, maybe you're paying them $1,500 to sit on their butt. They sit really good for the $1,500. They don't sit so well for the $500, okay? But you're paying these guys to do nothing for you. They sit there, they receive one letter from the state each year and forward it on to you. And they send you a checklist. Make sure you're doing stuff. They don't care whether you're doing it or not. And then if you get if you get sued in Nevada, they're going to accept the service for the lawsuit, and they're going to forward it on to you. Well, trust me, guys, you're not going to get sued in Nevada. You're going to get sued in Indiana. That's where your piece of property is. Everybody knows that. They know where you live. They're going to sue you. Care less whether the company's in Nevada. So you're getting the setup is basically what you're doing. The problem is these agencies that do this stuff, even the internet sites, the legal doom sites, they only get you halfway there. They're going to give you a piece of paper. That's it. They give you a piece of paper, and they kiss you on both cheeks and send you on your way. It's not a good deal, guys. It's whoops. I forgot the operating agreement. I had a young guy come in here one day. He was a graphic designer, and I was asking him to do some internet design stuff for me. And I was telling him about the LLC Wizard and all this stuff, and the kid was bragging about how much he charged to do all this stuff, and I'm going, yeah. And he said, well, I have no... why do I need this stuff? This is nuts. I paid my $50. I got my piece of paper at the state. I got my LLC. By the time we went through all of this stuff for him, he figured out he didn't have an operating agreement, which means he didn't have an LLC. He gets sued. He's useless. There is no LLC. He hadn't done any of the stuff he needed to do. In fact, when he finally got through with it all, I set him down and said, okay, how much is it? And he said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll swap you all my work if I can go through your course with you. So he learned. One size doesn't fit all for asset protection, by the way. You've got to put your operating agreement in place to fit your needs. Everybody, they go, whoops. I always ask people, well, do you have a membership log? Did you actually fill out the membership certificates? Is there one in your drawer? And everybody goes, well, no, we didn't do any of that stuff. Nobody told us. There are no resolutions to open their bank account. There's no resolutions to rent the building. There's no resolutions to do all this stuff. They didn't get any tax help. They didn't know they had to file they filed the SS4. They got a tax ID number. But they didn't know about the 8832, and they didn't know about the 2553. As a result, they got the default that the IRS gave them. There's no training on this stuff when you go to the lawyer's office or when you go to the internet site. I'm going to get you all the way there, guys. The LLC Wizard is the full course, and I understand some of you can't stay all the time with us, but you want to get started. Just go to llcwizard.com/Todd. He's our host. Or call 800-806-1998. 800-806-1998. And we'll show that to you again, but some of you have to leave, and I understand that every once in a while, although we're going to give you a lot of information here.